Welcome to English Bookshelf, where every book becomes your new friend, and every summary gives you a new lesson. Imagine waking up before the world wakes up. The city is still asleep. The noise is silent. No notifications. No pressure. No chaos. Just you and time. What if I told you that the way you start your morning can completely transform your life? Your focus, your energy, your success, your mindset, your future, everything. Most people wake up late, rush through their mornings, check their phones, react to other people's priorities, and spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. But a small group of people do something different. They wake up at 5 a.m. And they don't just wake up early. They take control of their lives before the world demands their attention. This is the idea behind the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, a book that is not just about waking up early, but about mastering your mornings so you can master your life. The story begins at a strange seminar, a motivational event filled with confused people, stressed professionals, and individuals searching for meaning. Among them are two main characters, an entrepreneur who feels like a failure and an artist who has lost direction. Both are struggling, both are searching, both are desperate for change. On stage is a billionaire who doesn't look like a typical teacher. He is unconventional, energetic, and deeply wise. He begins to speak about success, productivity, discipline, and greatness. But what he shares is different from the usual motivational talk. He speaks about the importance of mornings. He says that the way you begin your day determines the quality of your entire life. At first, the idea seems simple, maybe even too simple. Wake up early? That's it. But as the story unfolds, we begin to understand that this is not about waking up early just for the sake of it. It is about using the most powerful hour of your day in a way that most people never do. The billionaire introduces a powerful concept, the 20-20-20 formula. The first hour of your morning, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., is divided into 3 parts. The first 20 minutes are for movement. Exercise, sweat, get your body moving, increase your energy, wake up your mind. This is not just physical. It prepares your brain for peak performance. The next 20 minutes are for reflection, silence, meditation, journaling, thinking deeply about your life, your goals, your values. This is where clarity is born. The final 20 minutes are for growth, learning, reading, studying, expanding your knowledge so that every single day you become a little wiser, a little stronger, a little better than yesterday. And slowly, we begin to see the deeper message of the book. Greatness is not created in big dramatic moments. It is created in small daily habits repeated consistently over time. The entrepreneur and the artist begin to follow the billionaire's teachings. At first, it is uncomfortable. Waking up early is hard. Discipline is hard. Changing habits is hard. But slowly, something begins to shift. Their minds become clearer. Their focus becomes sharper. Their energy increases. Their confidence grows. They begin to feel something they have not felt in a long time: control. The book explains that we live in a world full of distraction. Social media, endless notifications, constant noise, and mental clutter. Most people live in reaction mode, always responding, never creating. But the early morning hours are sacred. They are protected. They are distraction-free. They allow you to think, create, and grow without interruption. Robin Sharma calls this the victory hour. If you win the first hour of your day, you set yourself up to win the rest of your day. And as your audience listens, they begin to realize that this book is not really about waking up at 5 a.m. It is about taking ownership of your life. It is about becoming disciplined in a world full of distraction. It is about building habits that make you stronger, wiser, and more focused. It is about designing your day instead of letting your day control you. And this is where the real journey begins. As the story moves forward, The entrepreneur and the artist begin to spend more time with the billionaire, learning not just about productivity, but about life, mindset, and the hidden patterns that separate ordinary people from extraordinary performers. The billionaire tells them something powerful. Most people are busy, but very few people are productive. Most people are distracted, reactive, and overwhelmed, not because they lack talent, but because they lack structure. He explains that the world we live in is designed to steal our attention. Notifications, social media, endless content, constant comparison. It keeps us mentally scattered, and a scattered mind can never produce focused, meaningful work. This is why the morning routine is so important. It is not just about discipline. It is about protecting your mind. The billionaire introduces another powerful idea, the concept of the 4 interior empires. He explains that true mastery in life comes from balancing 4 areas within us: mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set. Your mindset is how you think. Your beliefs, your focus, your mental patterns. Your heart set is how you feel. Your emotional world, your relationships, your ability to handle stress and setbacks. Your health set is your physical body, your energy, your strength, your stamina. And your soul set is your connection to purpose, meaning, contribution, the deeper reason behind your work and your life. Most people, he says, focus only on results, money, success, achievements. But if your inner world is weak, your outer success will never last. The early morning routine, the 5 a.m. ritual, strengthens all 4 of these areas at the same time. When you exercise, you build your health set. When you reflect and meditate, you strengthen your heart set and soul set. When you learn and read, you sharpen your mindset. This is why the routine is so powerful. It is not just productivity, it is self-mastery. As the entrepreneur and the artist begin to practice this daily, their lives begin to change in deeper ways. They become calmer, more focused, more creative, more confident. They begin to produce better work, make better decisions, and attract better opportunities. The billionaire explains that the highest performers in the world, athletes, artists, leaders, creators, all have one thing in common. They respect their mornings. They protect their focus. They train their minds. He also introduces the idea of the 90-91 rule. For the next 90 days, spend the first 90 minutes of your workday focusing on your single most important project. No distractions, no emails, no phone, just deep, focused work. Because great results come from deep work, not shallow activity. The book makes it clear that success is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things with intense focus. As the journey continues, the billionaire also teaches them about the importance of rest and recovery. He explains that elite performance is not just about working hard, it is about managing energy. You cannot perform at a high level if you are constantly exhausted. You need sleep, recovery, and moments of silence. This is why the 5 a.m. club is not about sleeping less. It is about sleeping smarter, going to bed earlier so you can wake up with purpose and energy. Another powerful idea introduced in the book is the concept of daily incremental improvements. Small improvements every single day lead to massive transformation over time. 1% better each day may not seem like much, but over weeks, months, and years, it creates extraordinary results. And this is where the deeper philosophy of the book begins to reveal itself. Greatness is not an event. It is a process. It is built in quiet mornings, disciplined routines, focused work sessions, and consistent self-improvement. The entrepreneur and the artist begin to realize that their lives were not failing because they lacked potential. Their lives were stuck because they lacked structure, discipline, and intentional habits. And now, slowly, that is changing. As your audience listens to this part of the story, they begin to see their own lives in these characters. The distractions, the lack of focus, the desire for something more. And they begin to feel that change is possible. Because if two struggling individuals can transform their lives by changing their mornings, then anyone can. And this is where the book prepares us for its deeper emotional transformation. Not just productivity, but purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. As the journey continues, something deeper begins to unfold inside the entrepreneur and the artist. The changes they are experiencing are no longer just about productivity or better time management. It is something more powerful, a shift in identity. They begin to see themselves differently, not as victims of their circumstances, not as people reacting to life, but as individuals who can shape their future with intention. The billionaire explains that most people live their lives in autopilot mode. They wake up, react to messages, rush into work, get distracted, feel overwhelmed, and then end the day exhausted, only to repeat the same cycle again. But the 5 a.m. Club is about breaking that cycle. It is about stepping out of autopilot and stepping into conscious living. He tells them that when you own your morning, you don't just change your schedule. You change your identity. You become a creator instead of a consumer. You become focused instead of scattered. You become proactive instead of reactive. And slowly, day by day, the entrepreneur and the artist begin to feel a quiet confidence building inside them. They are no longer chasing motivation. They are building discipline. The billionaire also introduces a powerful idea that discomfort is the price of greatness. Waking up at 5 a.m. is not easy. Exercising when you feel tired is not easy. Sitting in silence when your mind is noisy is not easy. Studying and learning when others are relaxing is not easy. But he explains that growth always lives on the other side of discomfort. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your character. And over time, that discipline becomes identity. You are no longer the person who tries to be productive. You become a productive person. You are no longer someone who wants to improve. You become someone who improves every day. The book also dives deeper into the importance of environment. The billionaire explains that the people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, and the spaces you live in all shape your behavior. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, distraction, and mediocrity, it becomes difficult to grow. But when you build an environment that supports focus, growth, and positivity, success becomes natural. This is why the early morning hours are so powerful. They give you a clean, controlled environment where you can think clearly and work deeply without outside interference. As the story unfolds, we also see the emotional side of transformation. The entrepreneur begins to rediscover confidence. The artist begins to rediscover creativity. They both begin to feel something that had been missing from their lives: purpose. They're no longer just working to survive. They are working to create, to contribute, and to build something meaningful. The billionaire reminds them that success is not just about achievement. It is about fulfillment. You can have money, recognition, and status, but still feel empty. True success comes when your daily actions align with your deeper values and purpose. The 5 a.m. routine helps create that alignment. When you spend time in reflection, you understand your priorities. When you invest in learning, you grow your abilities. When you exercise, you increase your energy. And when all of these come together, you begin to live a life of intention rather than reaction. As your audience listens to this part, they begin to feel a sense of possibility. They realize that change does not require a complete life overhaul overnight. It begins with one decision: to take control of the first hour of your day. 1 hour that can slowly transform your habits. Your habits can transform your identity. And your identity can transform your life. The story now moves toward its final stage, where all these lessons come together into one powerful message about greatness, purpose, and living a meaningful life. As the journey comes to its final stage, the lessons of the 5 a.m. Club begin to settle not just in the minds of the entrepreneur and the artist, but deep into their identity. What started as a simple experiment of waking up early has now become a complete transformation of how they see their lives. They no longer feel lost. They no longer feel distracted. They no longer feel controlled by circumstances. Instead, they feel focused, intentional, and powerful. The billionaire smiles as he watches their progress because he knows the truth. Greatness is not something you achieve one day. It is something you practice every single morning. He reminds them that the world will always be noisy, always demanding, always distracting. There will always be pressure, competition, comparison, and chaos. But the people who rise above it are the ones who build a strong inner world. The 5 a.m. club is not about waking up early just to be productive. It is about building mental strength, emotional stability, physical energy, and a clear sense of purpose. It is about becoming the kind of person who can perform at a high level, think clearly under pressure, and stay calm in a world full of noise. The entrepreneur now understands that success is not about luck or talent. It is about daily discipline. The artist realizes that creativity does not come from waiting for inspiration. It comes from creating space for it every single morning. And slowly, a deeper truth becomes clear. The way you live your mornings becomes the way you live your life. If your mornings are rushed, distracted, and reactive, your life will feel rushed, distracted, and reactive. But if your mornings are calm, focused, and intentional, your life begins to feel the same way. The billionaire leaves them with one final message. Protect your mornings. Because in that quiet, peaceful hour before the world wakes up, you are building your future. You are shaping your mindset. You are strengthening your discipline. You are investing in your growth. Day by day, those small actions become habits. Those habits become your identity. And your identity becomes your destiny. The 5 a.m. Club is not just a book about waking up early. It is a guide to taking control of your life in a distracted world. It teaches you that you don't need more time. You need better use of the time you already have. It teaches you that success is not about doing everything. It is about doing what truly matters with full focus. It teaches you that the quality of your life is created in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is watching. As your audience listens to this final message, they begin to feel a powerful shift. They realize that change does not require waiting for the perfect moment. It starts tomorrow morning. One decision, one alarm, 1 hour of focus. And from that single hour, a completely new life can begin. The music softens. The world slowly fades into silence. And the final message remains clear. If you want to change your life, start by winning your morning. Because the people who master their mornings, master their lives. If this video inspired you, subscribe to English Bookshelf for more stories, more learning, and more inspiration. Until the next book, keep reading, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.